Hi, Leighton Zollo again. Just something else I'd like to talk a little bit about today. It's something I've been doing forever. It's just something I've always done. That's being prepared. Especially now, with the way the world is, the way things are going. I'm not saying anything major is going to happen, and I'm not saying anything major is not going to happen. There isn't anything I can do about it personally. So my way of looking at things is to be prepared. We all know that groceries, fuel is going through the roof. And it's just going to keep getting worse. At least for the foreseeable future. So for me, I think for everybody, I guess, not just for me, but I think everybody should be at least preparing to a certain degree. Me, well, I'm a homesteader, so like food and those type of things, I never worry about. I grow most of my own food, so I'm always okay that way. But this is, I just like to encourage people to buy a little extra if you can. I know a lot of people go, well, I can't store a lot of food, I don't have the money. I would never tell anybody to put themselves in debt or go out and spend thousands of dollars on food. No, that's not my goal. My goal is to suggest to people that if you're going out and you normally buy 2 cans of soup a week, then maybe buy 3. And the other big thing is learn to bake yourself. It's way better for you, especially like breads and stuff. I don't eat a lot of breads. I try not to eat too many carbs, but that's just me. All kinds of canned foods, but only buy stuff that you would normally eat, because you need to be able to rotate your pantry. There's no point in buying something that you're not going to eat. That don't make sense. So yeah, like if you want to prepare, you buy canned food, a little bit here, a little bit there. In 6 months' time, you'd be amazed at how much food you could actually stack up on. Like in the northern part of the world, like where we live here in Canada, I think some of the most important canned foods that we could get, just in case things get really bad, is fruits. Because we can't exactly grow fruit here in the wintertime. So yeah, like canned fruit to me is probably one of the most important cans to stack up on. Beans, rice, they're pretty staple foods. They last a long time. If you have a vacuum sealer, when we buy our rice, I always vacuum seal it and put it into a dark container. I just want to make sure there's no oxygen in there. Because most people don't realize this, but most foods you buy have larvae in it. I'm serious. Yeah, they do. Most people don't want to hear that, but that is the truth. So if you vacuum seal, larvae don't hatch. They die. So yeah, it's funny, but it is true. It's disgusting, but hey, that's the way life is. It won't hurt you. Even if the larvae hatched, it probably wouldn't hurt you, but I wouldn't eat it. But yeah, those are the things, some of the things that you need to do. Like you should always have a little bit of extra gas. Make sure you have candles at home, flashlights. If you can afford a generator, this would definitely be a good time to purchase a generator. There's usually always lots online lately. I've seen lots of generators online for like $200. I think the reason a lot of people are selling the smaller generators is because they're upgrading, which I understand. So yeah, like if you can afford the $200, buy a generator. I mean, you won't be able to run an entire house on it, but you could run your TV, and your internet, and maybe a coffee maker, or whatever other small appliances you would like. So yeah, they're a good idea. that's only if you can afford it. Never put yourself in debt or something that you can't afford. Just do your best has always been my opinion. No matter where you live, you can always start a garden. I've always said this. Like, even if you're in an apartment, go out and buy a bag of potting soil, buy some pots, buy some seeds, grow them in your window, grow them on your balcony. Whatever you can do will help. I mean, if you don't have to go to a store and buy a little container of lettuce for $10 because you can grow them in a pot, well, there you go. That pot, you could probably grow 50 meals out of that one pot. You just keep replanting it. The one good thing about lettuce is that you can cut a few leaves off the plant and it will keep growing. So yeah, I mean, there's always many, many different things you can do, but those are some of the basic things that's important to do. So yeah, like prepping is very important now, in my opinion. Way more important than it has been in the last 50 years. Because the way the world has been going in the last 2 years, and even now, it's worse. So we don't know what our future holds. So the thing is if you prepare practically with stuff that you use anyway, you're not wasting money or trying to get food. If this is my theory on prepping, you're better off to have something than not to have something when you need it. Okay? And a lot of people call preppers hoarders. Well, we're not hoarders. You will never see a prepper go to a grocery store a day before a storm to stock up on stuff. You know why? Because we already have what we need. We don't wait for the last minute. Our pantries are usually stocked. We have extra, we have this, we have that. I'm just trying to encourage people to, I'm not saying be self-sufficient. I mean, that's hard to do. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time. But always have extra. It's important. Like if you live in town and the power goes and you have no water, you should always have a few cases of water on hand. Now, I don't know much about buying water. I haven't bought water in 20 years. I mean, I live in the country, so I have water everywhere around me. That's the least thing that I worry about is water. But if you live in town, water is going to be priority. Food, water, warmth is very important. If you live in an apartment or in a town, you need to learn how to heat one room in your apartment. Like, it's important. It's fairly easy to do. Candles will heat a room if you close off one room, one small room. I don't really suggest to people to use candles because it can be very dangerous if you're not watching them. And especially if you have like little kids running around. But even body heat will heat a room. If you have 3 or 4 people in one small room, that room will stay at a certain temperature. So yeah, those are things that are important. I mean, these are things that you can do just to be a little bit more prepared. I mean, take a weekend if you have kids and spend a weekend and turn one room into a fort for the kids as a plaything or as something that they would enjoy doing. Just so that you have that set up so that if a bad storm comes by and we lose power for a week and it's -10 outside, it's just something to do. Kids would love it. They would think it's fun and it's a practical thing to do to practice so that you know exactly what you need to do if these type of situations occur. I think it's important. So yeah, there's many different things that I can tell you need to do, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's each person as to make those decisions for themselves. Like sit down and realize what you eat every week, how much you can afford to spend a little bit extra. I know it'll be hard now because I keep hearing that groceries are gone through the roof, but I mean, I don't know much about groceries. My wife goes out. The little bit of grocery shopping that we get is pretty minimal, so I don't know much about it, but I do know it's gone up because my wife went, I think was last week sometime, just to pick up a few extra things that we wanted, that we were getting not low, but getting down on. And I asked her, well, how much for those 3 little bags? She said $180. $180! Oh my God, the last time I was in a grocery store, $180, I could have filled up 3 shopping carts. So yeah, it's scary, and I do understand why it's going up, is politics. It's usually always the biggest problem in the world is politics and politicians. But oh well. Alright, thanks for listening to me rambling again. Have a good day, and thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed the video or found anything useful out of it, hit a like, maybe subscribe, and leave a message. Thanks again.